Welcome to my first ever sit down video, guys. Welcome back to the channel, I guess. Today we're going to be ranking the Game Changers books because I wanted to do this video, so I'm gonna do this video. And I don't care if it's different to my usual content. It's reading, it's kind of bookish. It's good enough, okay? I read the Game Changers books after watching Heated Rivalry because I did not know that it was based on a book series. I didn't know it was based on a book series, so I would have read it before. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. I didn't know. And then I read Heated Rivalry first because I thought that was the first book because that was the title of the show. I thought that was the only book as well. I thought it was the only book, and I was waiting for Scott and Kip, who are characters in the show who get one episode, to like come up and like have their little episode arc. And they were just not there, and I was really disappointed. And then I googled it and I realized there were 6 books. There's 6 books. And there's actually a 7th on the way called Unrivaled. So here's a little rundown of the Game Changers books if you don't know them already. They are essentially gay hockey romance novels. They're not like amazingly like beautiful works of art kind of novels. Like they're like fun, gay, raunchy vibes. Like no one's saying that it's like the best piece of literature, but they're very fun to read, and I had a very good time, and it got me out of my reading slump. Each of them, the first 5, each follow a different couple where like one or both of them is a hockey player. The last one goes back to Shane and Ilya from Heated Rivalry. So I'm going to do my ranking. I fear it's going to be controversial. Major spoilers. Major spoilers coming up. All in good fun, all for the vibes. This is just a chill sit down video. We're here for fun. Okay?
Go, she's gonna do the solo, it's gonna be good, we're all gonna have fun!
No one kick off. Right. Let's get started then. Okay. So coming in at number 6 is Common Goal. Now, this is the 4th book in the series, and I think that was kind of the main issue with it I had. It follows the story of Eric and Kyle. Eric is a hockey player who's kind of older than the rest of the hockey players, and Kyle is friends with one of the other characters from one of the other books. And they have this whole will they, won't they, for I would say like literally until like the last 2 chapters or something. But the thing is, by the 4th book, you kind of know that they're going to get together because they all kind of follow a similar arc. So you know that they're going to get together. Rachel Reid isn't really switching it up by this, and neither of the characters have a lot of depth. I'm just going to say that. Like, I love them. They're both very sweet. They're both lovely characters. But I'm just checking my notes, by the way. That's why I keep looking away. They don't have a lot of like, at least in the book, they don't have a lot of backstory and depth to them that we see. And also Kyle's crush on Kip was so fucking annoying. It was actually, whenever it was mentioned, I just filled with rage. Like, it was so annoying and so unnecessary. Like, it never led to anything. Kip never notices it. Like, no one ever notices it apart from Kyle himself. I think Eric might mention it once, but like, literally no one notices it. And it's so irrelevant and just makes him really annoying when he's a really nice character otherwise. Okay, we're back. There was hoovering going on. I had to stop filming. But you know, we're back. We're gonna finish this video. We are, I swear. Right. On to the next. Coming in at number 5 is Heated Rivalry. This is what I think is gonna be controversial. Obviously love all of the books, but I do think there's a big jump between number 6 and number 5. The rest of it is relatively close, but Heated Rivalry is following Shane and Ilya. It's a really good book. The characters do have a lot more depth and backstory to them than in Common Goal, which is very much appreciated. I will say it's very Shane's book. There's kind of like a lot of teasers that Ilya has a lot of shit going on, but like we don't go into depth with it. None of like his struggle with being in, literally working in his second language and all of this shit. All of the stuff he has going on with his dad and stuff happens in this book, but it's not very in-depth, and I wish we could go into more detail about Ilya because he's so much more interesting than Shane. It's not as good as some of the other books in the series. And it's nothing against the characters because they obviously have another book that's evidently ranked higher. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. Next, we do have Game Changer. Look, those two are the books that are like in the TV show, this series 1 that's out as I'm filming this. And they're not ranked very high. Like, I honestly enjoyed the ones that are not part of the TV show other than Common Goal so much more than the ones in series 1. So I'm looking forward to series 2 because I've got a feeling it's going to be a lot better. And series 1 was great, like of the TV show was great. But like, I think series 2 is going to be another level, guys. But yeah, Game Changer follows Scott and Kip. I love these characters so much. They're amazing. It was my favourite episode of the TV show. So I do really love them, I swear. But Kip was high-key so self-centered in the book. Like, in the TV show, they obviously don't go into as much depth because there's one episode. But as you go into depth and you hear Kip's inner monologue, he's so self-centered. And he cheats on Scott, spoiler alert. He cheats on Scott, kind of. I don't know if it counts as cheating. You have to read the book. But like, he's so self-centered and he doesn't understand Scott's situation or like his trauma, like at all. Like, literally none of it, and it's so annoying. I do love both of them, and I do like that they have a lot of depth in the story, and I feel like there's a lot more happens in this book than some of the other ones. Definitely the ones that are lower on the list. A lot, like, more events and stuff happen. Like, I feel like this has a lot of plot, and like some of the other ones didn't have as much plot. They were just like things that were happening in their life, and then what did that mean for their relationship. Like, this had like side plot and side characters galore. It had multiple plot lines. It was great. I loved this book. I just love some other books more, and Kip is really annoying. I don't like his inner monologue at all. I don't. I loved him in the TV show. I was like, Kip on top, love him. And I do love both of the characters, don't get me wrong, but like, he's so annoying when you hear what his thoughts are. Anyway. Oh, and it does have more, like, along with more plot. I feel like there's higher stakes than some of the other ones. I feel like it's more emotionally involved. Anyway. Next we have The Long Game. Bye! Why can I not film in peace? I swear to God. Right. Anyway, we have The Long Game, which is Shane and Ilya's second book. Now, I will say it ranks a lot higher than Heated Rivalry because I would say is Ilya's book. If the first one's Shane's book, this is Ilya's book. I heard someone else say this in like a Substack article I was reading about Game Changers. And I think Ilya has a lot more to him than Shane. Not like by a lot, but like he does have more to him than Shane. And it's so much more like, it's so much more deep, and it's just, they just give us so much more in the second book. Like, the first book could have been written like this. It really could have. Rachel Reed, bro. No, it's okay. We need to let a girl improve because this is the 6th book. Oh my God, I should have been saying what books they are. So this is the most recent book that's been released of the series, and you can tell it is like a huge step up from Heated Rivalry. I don't know how long it was between writing those books, but like, oh my gosh, it's so much better. Like, this is why I rank Heated Rivalry and some of the other ones lower, because like some of these ones as we get close to the top are like so well written that like I know you can do that, Rachel Reed, come on now. But yeah, anyway, I love it so much. These top three are very close. Like, these could have been interchanged. Well, not necessarily, but like, they're very, very close. So I do love that we see a lot more of Ilya's struggle and the depth of his character, because you kind of get like teasers of it, which mean that you want more of it, but like Rachel Reid isn't giving you it in Heated Rivalry. So I love that we get that in this book. And it is really good to see a couple in this series go through relationship struggles that aren't, he can't be a gay hockey player. Like, they go through so much more than is just the jeopardy of revealing their relationship and what that will mean for their careers. Like, Ilya's mental health struggles are a huge part of this book. Shane's issues with everything are a huge part of this book. Their family struggles. Shane's family feature a lot in this book. They kind of become part of Ilya's family, so they're like a huge part of this. And the ending that they gave their characters in this book is really satisfying. And the way that their wedding happens and their proposal is everything. I really love this book, guys. I really do. And it's so much better than Heated Rivalry, which might be why I love it so much. So yeah. Then, what do we have next? Tough Guy at number 2. This is the third book. This is the third book in the series. And this, low-key, could have been my top. I cried so much reading this book. So much. I love it so much. And I was so, like, the way that she writes Ryan's character, I was so emotionally involved. And maybe I'm biased because homegirl Rachel Reid was writing lines in that where I was like, this is my inner monologue. I thought that thought word for word. Let me just tell you something about Ryan. Ryan Price. He is the hockey player in the relationship. It follows Ryan and Fabian. Oh my god. I'm such a bad YouTuber. It follows Ryan and Fabian. Ryan Price and Fabian Salah. See, I even know their last names, guys. You can tell how much I love this more than the others. Right, Ryan Price is tall. He is ginger. He's really socially anxious. He's scared of flying. He's an athlete who's kind of fallen out of love with his sport because of the people in his sport. Like, I just cannot express to you how much I relate to Ryan. And then his boyfriend, Fabian Salah, is like basically my boyfriend. And their relationship, the way that it starts, is really similar to ours. So like, guys, I was so emotional reading this book. So it might be because of that, but like, I really do think that they have a lot more backstory and depth than a lot of the other characters in the books, where it's like their first book. So obviously The Long Game, we already know the characters, so it's easier for Rachel. I do understand it's easier for Rachel Reid to like develop their story more, but I think this one and the one that is at number 1 really show how much depth you can put into the characters, even when their love story only lasts 1 book. But both of the characters had such emotional inner monologues, and there was a lot of plot and a lot of side characters and events happening, right? Very good. They were going through relationship struggles that weren't just he's a hockey player, which I appreciate, because Common Goal, Heated Rivalry, and Game Changer, my bottom 3 are that. Like, that is the relationship struggle. And there's so much more to relationships than that, so I really like the depth that they put into the characters in this book. I like all of their background. They have so much history with each other outside of just like meeting and hooking up and blah blah blah, which is so nice to read. It makes you so much more emotionally involved, even if you aren't basically one of the characters. And it does have a different ending to the rest of them. Ryan Price does end up leaving hockey at the end of the book, which is very different to the other books. I will say I wasn't necessarily expecting it, which I really do appreciate in this series, because they do oftentimes end up similar. Very similar story arc. Very, very similar story arc. So they end up together, as they do in all of the books, but it does have a different ending, like within his career. He doesn't like stay, he's not like okay with himself and he's staying in hockey, or like he's coming out and he's staying in hockey. Like, no, like he's leaving hockey because that's the best decision for him. And I feel like by that point in the book you do see a different side of it, because obviously this is very critical of the hockey world in like homophobia sense, but not so much in the actual career sense. So I like that it's critical of the toll that it takes on Ryan. And Rachel Reed really takes you into his inner thoughts about like how much it's like eaten away at him, and you can really see it. And even if that isn't basically your life, it's really good, and it really gets you emotionally involved. And I have cross-checked this with my friends who have like read this book, because I wanted to make sure for Tough Guy that like it's not just because I'm basically one of the characters. I've cross-checked this with Substack articles, my friends' YouTube videos, so many. Like, this isn't just me, guys, I swear. And then coming in at number 1, if you know the books, then you will know that this is the one left. But Role Model. Now, this book, when I was making this list, I was like, I'm gonna rank Tough Guy first. And then like I was looking through, like just making sure that I hadn't forgotten any. I was like, wait, guys, Role Model was so good. Role Model is the 5th book in the series. So it's the last one of like a different couple before we go back to Shane and Ilya. So by this point it's the 5th hockey couple that you're reading. Okay, so it really could have been shit. It really could have been shit. And also, because it does come straight after Common Goal, I was kind of getting a bit like, okay, maybe like I'm gonna persist, because I've read 4 of these already. Like, I have to finish the series. And also because I knew that the last one goes back to Shane and Ilya, and that's the one that like a lot of season 2 of the TV show is going to be based on. So I wanted to finish it. So I was like, I'm going to power through. And bro, I read this in like 12 hours flat. And it's literally like, it's not any shorter than the rest of them. I just read it so quickly because I was so involved with the characters and I wanted Troy to be happy so bad. So this book follows Troy and Harris. Troy is a hockey player. Harris is the social media manager for Troy's hockey team. And Troy does appear in Tough Guy as a really horrible player that is on Ryan Price's team and is one of the main reasons he can't play hockey anymore and all this shit. So he's really like painted as like kind of like a one-dimensional antagonist. Like, he is really just the villain and that's all he has to him. But at the start of this book, you find out that he's basically just like a repressed gay. And a lot of things have gone down with his best friend from his old team. Victims of sexual assault from him were coming out and sharing their stories. And then Troy basically got mad at him in a practice and then got kicked off the team. And oh my god, when I heard about that in the book, I was so happy. Oh my god, when I opened this book and saw Troy he's not called Troy Harris, what's his name? Troy Barrett. When I opened this book and saw Troy Barrett, because I was reading these I think I read the whole series within a month, so I obviously remembered him from the other book, and I see Troy Barrett and I was like, hold on a second. And then like he starts talking about his friend and all of the stuff that went down, and I'm like, oh my god, he's gay, because we all know by now that all of these are gay hockey love stories. So I was like, oh my god, Troy Barrett's gay, and I was so happy that he was the main character in this book. Well, Harris, they meant to have like equal monologues, like, so some chapters will be in one perspective, they're in a monologue, and then the other ones are in the other person's perspective. But I would say this is Troy's book, and seeing him discover himself, seeing a better side of him, and seeing him change for the better and find love, and that helping him do that, and finding a family and a community away from the ones that he's lost. Oh my god, it felt so good. Making him a three-dimensional character, like, and like an activist, was so smart from Rachel Reed, because it's different to the other books, and it takes one of the characters from the other books and really like makes you question what you knew about them, and is so smart. Oh my god, Rachel Reed really ate down with this plot. She really did. I bet that girlie was like outlining her plot. She was like on her iPad, she's like, oh my god, I'm cooking. And you know what? She really, really was. Because yes, also Harris is so cute. Harris is so sweet. I love him so much. And the dog, I don't remember his name, but the dog is so cute. Also, I will say all of the characters in the different books do interact with each other, like, as they go on. So in the first book, it's kind of just Scott and Kit, but then like Ilya and Shane will like creep in towards the end, and then it's Ilya and Shane's book, and then like Scott and Kip are kind of in it, and then like, yeah, Ryan Price kind of creeps in a little bit, and then it's Ryan Price's book. So like they kind of like all know each other from hockey and stuff. And in Role Model, basically every single character from the other books is all in it. Like, they don't all speak from their perspective, it's from Troy's perspective or Harris's perspective, but they all play a role in the book, and I loved that personally. I'm not sure whether everyone would love that. They might just want to focus on the love story, but I really, really enjoyed that. So I'm so glad that happened. Is my lighting weird, or is it my phone? I'm praying that it's my phone, because if this is what the shot looks like, I'm gonna have to refilm this. Honestly, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It's up there with some of my favourite books I've ever read. I don't think it's one of the best books I've ever read, but it's definitely one of my favourites. And yeah, that is my ranking. I will say there is another book coming called Unrivaled, which is Shane and Ilya, the threequel. I don't know what's going on there. I can't lie. They're out, they're married, they're playing on the same team. So I guess we'll see what that has in store for us, which is very exciting. I've already pre-ordered. I've already pre-ordered the Kindle version, trust and believe. But yeah, shout out to my Kindle, I guess, for getting me through this series. I read this whole thing on my Kindle. I love my Kindle. Shout out to this series for getting me out of my reading slump. Honestly, the whole series, I really enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed all of these books. Like, none of them I would say are bad, even the ones that ranked low. The ones that ranked low are ranked low because I know that Rachel Reed can do better from the other books in the series. Like, no, they're not ranked low because they're bad. They're ranked low because, like, I know she can do amazing things. So I'm just like, no, give us more. I know you can, you know? So yeah, I loved all these books. They are, every single one of them, very raunchy, I will say. Maybe apart from Tough Guy. Tough Guy does talk a lot about sex, but it's kind of different, which is also another reason why I love it, because it's not the exact same, just like sex. Oh, and Role Model actually does not have as much sex scenes, if I'm remembering correctly. I really don't think it does. So maybe and the long game way. I low-key think as you go down my ranking, they get more sexual. So maybe that's a me thing. I don't have anything against smart guys. I really don't. I think it's really if it's done well, which Rachel Reed does do smart well, I will say. If it's done well, it really helps the characters along. and you can really see like their emotional development if it's done correctly, and it is in all of these. That's all I have to say. Hope you enjoyed. I will put a link to where you can buy the whole series in the description. So reminder to future Scarlett, who's editing this, to do this. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little switch up from my usual content. I'm gonna try and put more stuff about reading because I'm a book girl. So let me know if you want some more content like this. And yeah, I love you all so much. Hope you're enjoying the 2 uploads a week because I'm filming this way in advance. So hopefully you're enjoying that. Hopefully it's going well. And yeah, I love you all lots. See you next time.